the circle of light at the moment reaching across the globe, but we in Unity of Montreal join in this circle of light, this band of light. We are willing to serve. We are willing to step up. To step up to what the daily word today speaks of, inspiration. That lifts us. That lifts us to where we can see that we, each one of us, is a very unique but part of a larger oneness, an immense diversity for each one of us, so very unique. We are willing in our unity teaching to affirm divine mind, as to one mind, the oneness. And we affirm and are willing to affirm and do this again and again, that each one of us is not, in truth, separate, but part of the whole. So for this day, this time in our mankind, in our humankind, this time where things on the planet show us how much we need to stand in the light. These are not normal times. They call on us. They call on us. And we have this wonderful teaching in unity. So as you take your next breath, I am breathing inspiration and guidance. I am breathing inspiration and guidance so that I may see clearly myself, my situation. I am willing to see with new eyes. I am willing to see the tragedies on the planet with eyes of love. I'm willing to surrender my feeling of tragedy or sadness or fear and see with eyes of love in the support that we represent in our fellowship. In the support, in the presence of our fellowship. And I invite you to bring in anybody you would like to include, anything you want to lift to this level where you can see with eyes of love, where the inspiration of spirit is flowing through you so you can see with eyes of love. We include loved ones, family members, members of our spiritual community. We behold that we are one consciousness. Unity of Montreal has and is a consciousness of prayer and belief and unity. And so it is. And so it is. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. I invite you to come back very gently, seeing each other with eyes of love and a smile. I have wanted to, when I have an opportunity to talk once a month or twice a month, I have wanted to go deeper into our creed of the heart, to really dig down deep, because I'm aware that we're saying something very radical in our statement, in our creed of the heart. And I want us to reflect and take the responsibility to consider what it is we're saying and what there would be some alternative ways to consider our teaching and how we relate to our teaching. And as you know, I brought in the cosmic egg, which comes from a book called The Crack of the Cosmic Egg by Sheldon Pierce. And the idea of this, it's another modality of the Trinity. We have it in unity, as you know. Body, mind, and spirit. Those of us who were raised in the Catholic Church, we have it there. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. There is something about the Trinitarian teaching that is going through the world religions. You can find it. And we talked in the previous Sundays, we talked about this concept of the cosmic egg as the yellow part being your story, and then the white stuff around it to be our story. And just a little recap, my story, of course, is what you were born into. Be that you believe in karma or not, you were born into a certain culture, into a certain family, into a certain story. That's your story, right? Can I see some nods? Yeah, right. That's your story. And then you grow up in that story and you form, you build a persona around it, be that it is your story was harsh or it was good or it was this or that, but it's formed. I'm looking at Wilma. I'm looking at myself. She was born in her culture. I was born in this Switzerland thing, right? And we have a context. You follow me? And the context is different. Okay, so our story. And here, we thank God we have a teacher among us, James Gator, who is continuing to give us Sunday talks. Right now, he's doing the parables of Jesus. And I'm ever so grateful because I'm learning again, and I'm learning deeper the meaning of some of these teachings from Jesus. He is one who is so clear. He says, Jesus wasn't talking in the 21st century. He was talking in Jerusalem 2,000 years ago. Are you with me? In a Jewish tradition, in a world of Jewish law. So his stories have to be set in the context of the time. Same with you and me, our story. You know, there's this situation where Jesus was not supposed to, the laws were very clear about what you could do and not do on the Sabbath. And somewhere he is telling that his followers were hungry. And he said, let them find corn. Let them find corn. They're hungry. He did constantly overstepped, right? He came to bring us a new teaching, but in the context of the time, it has to be understood. So now we're coming to the third part of this Trinitarian thinking. And this is kind of more like where my interest over the years have been. And that is the context of what brings you and me from the beginning of my time when I was born into, and then the context in which I was growing up, to the realization that that's not really me. I'm coming to learn that I have a spiritual identity and that I am given principles to apply. Or I am given, and here comes my favorite word, the teaching of individuation. What is individuation? Individuation was basically a term that comes from Carl Jung, who was one of my, maybe one of three significant teachers in my life. He was a Swiss psychiatrist, and he developed this concept of individuation. And when I came across individuation, I was at Unity Village, 24 years old, barely speaking English, going for 1 year. They gave me a scholarship for 1 year to study at Unity Village. And then I would go back to Switzerland, you know, to take the Unity stuff over there, Switzerland or France. And I come across Jung, and I'm coming across what he was giving in terms of individuation. And suddenly I saw how unity and this step psychology, oh my God, they're speaking the same, they are talking about the same thing. So I want to talk a little bit about the obligation that comes with a teaching that tells you that you are a spiritual being, that tells you that you are given principles to apply to come over the years as you progress in your life to a place of being an individuated self, a self that has peeled off the stuff from, I mean, you still have your personality, you still know who your parents are, and you still know why you like certain foods, and you smile when you hear a certain language spoken. That's still there, but that's not who you really are. And you're bringing into the light what needs to be healed from that time. And you're bringing into the light an understanding of, oh my God, the context in which I was born in is not the whole world. That was just my Catholic upbringing, or whatever your upbringing was, the context. And you're starting to work on yourself. I said last time, the statement, the Oracle of Delphi, when all is said and done, know thyself. And I was asking every one of you to do some reflection of where you are with knowing yourself, not just the parts that you like about yourself, not just the parts that you thought you, present to the world. Everything, all of it. All of it, the understanding of individuation is that that which is denied and that which is disowned has to be brought into the light for healing and for forgiveness. That's the unity teaching. All of it. All of it. And individuated selves are people, you and me at a certain stage of our lives who have taken the time to look at what have I disowned, what do I not accept about myself? And instead of denying it, you embrace it, you bring it into the light. All. Remember how many times Jesus said, fear not. Fear not. All of it is loved by God. All of you. And only when I come to that place where oh my God, all of me wants to be brought into the light. Into the light. That this process of individuation, or the true identity, your true identity is forming, presenting itself to yourself. And so I want to say something, I don't know, yeah, I got plenty of time. There is this wonderful story, and I got this from Richard Rohr in one of his blogs, is the story of the map. And I'm talking now to you as much as I'm talking to myself. In unity, we know we have very intellectually curious people. We attract intellectually and curious and studious people. And that means the individual finds maps, finds, oh, here is another way of looking at me or at the teaching, or I know what unity teaches, or I know what the Course in Miracles. These are all maps. Just go with me for a moment, calling all these, or the esoteric teaching, another map, or Eckhart Tolle, another map. Those are maps. So there is this story that there was a holy man who disappeared. And the people thought that he had gone to live as a hermit, or maybe he had died. And then one day he returns, and he is so vibrantly alive so wonderfully alive that they say, tell us, what happened? What did you do? Where did you go? And he said, oh, no, 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 I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to, no, 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 no. But they kept pestering him, and he finally drew a map. After a long time of saying, no, I don't want to give you my map. You do your own, you have to go your own way. You have to find your own. You got to find your own, not mine. They kept at it, and he finally drew a map where he had been. And what did the villagers do? They framed the map and hung it on the wall to orient themselves. They made it the way to go. But the way it went for this man. See, this is one of the invitations today that I would like to lay down before you at your feet, is that when I say know thyself, the invitation to what are my maps that I have hung on the wall? Are you with me? Are you with me? What are the maps? My Enneagram type, my this, my that, you know, I'm into mysticism. So those are my, you know, maps. What are my maps? What are my maps? I have hung them on the wall. I think that they are the way, they were somebody else's way. And they're probably preventing. Well, I don't mean to be negative here. I don't really want you to think that I'm negative about your maps, because you're probably they are very dear to you. I know for myself, my maps are very dear to me, you know. You know what I mean when I say maps, right? Right? Can I see some nods? What I want to lay before you and before you, as I present that as the gift of today, is that have a good look at your maps, take down a few of those, and reflect on the idea that my path is not those maps. My path has to, should come from my own journey. And the heat and the energy and the material, you ask yourself, well, what is my path? How do I find my path? The path is right there where you are. In the integration between what you have denied, what you don't like about yourself, what you need to bring into the light, what is shadow. You see, one of the things about individuation that really struck me as I was thinking about this in the last few days, about talking to you about this and about the process, as we say in unity, aligning with divine mind. All of it is divine mind, and I am a part of it, a unique part of it. But within that divine mind, I am to evolve. I am to and the only evolution is an integration, is of a recognition of who you really are and bringing that into the light. And that goes, it's almost like you're peeling from who you were when you were born, your persona that you acquired with all of your diplomas and so on. And then you're moving to the larger story, a recognition. My story is not just my story. My story is the story of the world as well. to, and a willingness to bring this together. There is a dynamic. This is what's so wonderful about the unity teaching, is that once you begin the process of saying to spirit, I know my true identity lies in the relationship with you, not with the map on the wall. That's a good one. My relationship with you, spirit, not with the map on the wall. Any form before individuation or before we come to an understanding, how do I truly give my identity a place in my life, my true identity? My true identity as being an integrated human, a human that knows herself, that is not denying or shying away or afraid, but knows herself. I am going to be me, you are going to be you till the end of your time, right? This is your body, your personality, with all the quirks and all whatever is there, correct? But you have a teaching and you have an emerging spiritual identity that has done the work. You have done the work. And I have few more minutes here. What I wanted to say about the process, well, in psychology, it's called working with the shadow. Shadow doesn't mean negative. Shadow just means that of me that I have kept out of the light. You know what it does when I do that? It separates me. It separates me. First and foremost from myself, but also from others. I don't want you to see all of me. It's along those lines. And the other day was a particularly, like this whole week was for me very, you know, I'm a woman, I have lived a long life. The idea of 20 years of Afghanistan and wanting women to be able to get out of the house and go to school. And I mean, it was heartbreaking for me, right? So I was having one of my dark night of the soul days. And the thought that came, and it ties in with what I would like to leave with you individually and also as a congregation. The word that came is move, no matter what you do, no matter what choices you make, choose what leads to more relationship. Choose whatever you do in your day, whatever comes up, make the choice that leads to you reaching for relationship. A phone call, reaching across at the noon meditation, bridging the divide that is so artificial. Because in spirit, we are all one. But we are experiencing ourselves as separate units from the very beginning. Once we have separated away from our mother, we are individuals. And it's artificial and it's not helpful. So feeling into I don't know what kind of a person you are. Do you naturally tend toward reaching out to others? To choose relationships or relating? It doesn't have to be relationship, but relating, doing something that's relational. Or are you more the hermit, choosing isolation? The path toward individuation, toward the emergence of the true self, your true identity, is one of relating. First, relating to yourself, relating to the parts of you that you don't like, relating to the aspects in your life that you don't like, relating. You have the tools to cope, to heal, to forgive, right? You do. So I would like to leave you with that thought that came to me in my little dark night of the soul. Anything I choose must bring me into more relationship. So I'd like to take a moment to just be in silence with that thought. Close your eyes if you want to. Sit with yourself. Anything I choose this week shall bring me into closer relationship. Choosing to be in relationship. That is crossing a divide for many folks in Unity who love the teaching for its individualistic approach. You're going this path. You're called to go it by yourself. And now I am asking you to reach across the divide. I must go this with others, with the world. Anything I choose to do must bring me into closer relationship. Healing the divide. And so it is. And I thank you. I'm going now to stop the recording.